Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's remove this and let's change this up here. Let's turn this off. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Are we doing fine? Are we doing well? It rained about 3 inches here over the last 24 or no 12 hours. So my yard is just saturated. I'm sure y'all care about that. I'm sure you're like, wow, Steve, tell us something more interesting. But anyways, we'll get some people in here. I like having the intro video. I know that some people don't like the intro, but you know what? It allows everybody to come in, especially since notifications are screwed up. It gives me time to text all the people that uh, are saying that they don't get their notifications. We can't be on here too long due to the fact that I'm on Mission Impossible on finding one load. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna try to do what we can and try to be a beacon in a dark world, right? A beacon in a dark world. So we've got our coffee, sponsored by I look like a total fanboy with a hat and they're like, oh look, but 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 I got the Iron Maiden thing going on, right? So um, anyways, I hope everyone's doing okay. I want to thank everybody that was in Sage's broadcast Tuesday, right? Tuesday, and I enjoyed being on there. It wasn't as gloomy and doomy as I thought it was going to be. It was more about the mindset that one needs if you're going to go from company driver to owner operator. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with being a company driver. I was a company driver, and in many ways, I'm still am a company driver. Well, a company office person, but anyways, APU's working a little bit. Haven't run the truck since Easter, but that's fixing to change, I think. Just depends on what's going on. We have Mother's Day coming up this Sunday, so make sure you guys, if you have moms, tell them that Happy Mother's Day. Buy them a card. Do whatever you do. And I believe I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. Yeah, so. So, anyways, we'll do some shout outs. We got 21 people in here. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, because my channel is finally starting to gain some traction thanks to Sage, thanks to the StreamYards, and thanks to consistency of going live every couple of days. I need to do better on the recorded videos, and I need to do better on the recorded videos on the other channel. So if you don't mind, subscribe to Snorelord OG so we can talk about other things. Greg Zimmer first. That's a nice truck in your avatar. TK, what's up? How is the spot market treating you, my friend? Desert Okie Pam, good morning. Pigtail is in the house. Tolga, good morning. Sam I am with the little sunshine. Cattle hauling is in. Provost Motorsports, who was showing off his new monitor. It's like 50 miles long and it like curves. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Tolga, what's up? Perfect time, Snorler. I literally got bored about the same news. A bit conversation is going to be excellent. That's what we try to do. Donnie Luke, what's up? Dutch, let me guess, look for a unicorn load out of New Mexico. Actually, yeah. But but this is a different circumstance, so it's not looking good there. Cool hat, thank you. It's a much sought after hat. I can't talk. I thought Sage did a great job as an interviewer, kept things rolling smoothly. Yeah, man. Sage has got it going on. He's doing all right, man. I watched him build his channel from 50 to to what it is now. Basically making observations that you know, that he and I have made about things that just don't make sense. And so he gets to the bottom of it, and he's really opened my eyes on how connected everything is to logistics. And if you think about it, if you go back and think about it, it makes a lot of sense. So, anyways, um, TK, I'm about to stop and get a new capacitor. I'm pretty sure that's my problem. On your APU, TK, I had to do that on my APU. Mr. Charles, good morning. DIY, good morning. I noticed that you've put a couple of videos up. I have not been caught up. No. Ratman, it's cold. You know what, Ratman, though? I was just watching the weather, and all throughout from like Oklahoma all the way to Arizona, they're and down south even, they're talking about record heat this weekend, like in the three digits. So it won't be cold very long, but you're probably up there in the mountains there. And so far, nothing. I've got three alerts going on what we've talked about, and it's not looking good. Um, Jose, good morning. Nomadic Brit, last day at the house, heading up to Syracuse, New York. Grafton, what's up? Tolga, DIY Semi Truck and More, good morning. How are you? Long time no see. Spot market, all right so far. Good deal. Those of you who don't know, TK went from the Big Orange to the spot market. He's over there at SRO Logistics, doing pretty good. Trucker Jason, good morning. I love your avatar as well. Let's see. Eric's in the house. Dutch wasn't Sage YouTuber that showed the rights live on his channel. No, that was Freight Broker Live, which is now Steve Oatley. And he's been stuck on this. Steve Oatley has been stuck on this on the Johnny Depp trial, which I could give two craps about, really. Um, anything to do with Hollywood's a sad affair. So, John Armstrong, good morning. I hope you're getting some ducks lined up. Draco, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day. Stay dry, as you know, it's been raining for about 2 years now. The Bull of the Woods, what's up? Let's see. Yes, APU power for everything is weak. Hopefully, it's not actually a generator. I'll start over with the $80 part. My capacitor went out, I think twice. So I think that's and you got the same probably age APU I do. So let's go to the title, right? Let's go to the title. When to panic and when to stay calm. And the answer is you got to be somewhere in between. That's my answer. I don't know what your answer is, but that's my answer. As you guys know, rates are down, but they're still doable. Let me look here. According to the current rate index, national van rates are at 272, down 10 cents from last week. Reefers at 307, down 10 cents from last week. And flatbed's actually down a penny to 342. Now, it's interesting because I'm reading that off of Ascend, which is a broker TMS system, and it's green because that's a positive for the brokers, right? But fuel is up. It's red. Fuel is at let's see where fuel's at. 5. Holy moly. Okay, I didn't look at that earlier. Last week when I was doing live feeds, it was at 510. Right now it's at 551. So, wow. Oh, man. Hopefully launching your merch store today or tomorrow. I am still waiting on my logo to be made so I can partake in the merchandise stuff. And I want to be able to give out something to the members of the channel. such as DIY. Thank you all the members in the channel. Thank you very much. I don't relish in that, really. That's kind of a weird thing to relish in there, Ryan. Mad Max Trucking 2022. No, I just now noticed your avatar. I don't know how long you had that, but 551. How many of you prepared for 551 gasoline in your business plans if you even did one? Probably not many, if any. I didn't. In fact, I'm still working off a business plan of in the threes. You know, I was on 123 low board, and 123 low board, they have a fuel estimator, fuel cost estimator. And so if you're on the 123 low board, I highly recommend using the fuel cost, profit calculator on each of the loads that you look at. But there's a setting where you can set it to a certain amount miles per gallon and then set it for a certain amount per gallon. And I've got mine set at 6 and 6. So if I'm looking at a load on the 123 low board and I look at the fuel cost, now it's got me at 6 miles to the gallon at $6 a gallon fuel. And I'm fixing the change it to 7. Because if you're running the Northeast, you're flirting with $7 a gallon. And that is causing panic amongst the trucking industry. And for good reason. Shannon, good morning. I will be calling you today, probably shortly after this live feed. Like I said, we're not going to be on here too much longer. We're going to be up until about 8. Donnie Luke, not I. Pigtail, good morning. My opinion, why panic doesn't help situation. You have to stay under control and adapt to current situations. And that was the point of the video, Chucky, is when is it time to panic? When is it time to stay calm? Well, you got to kind of be in the middle. You got to have a sense of urgency to make sure that you're on top of things, but you don't want to be completely complacent. Sometimes people mistake my calmness for complacency, and and I'll be honest with you, there was a time where that was true. But the complacent Mr. Allington has been gone for, I don't know, about a year now, because of things that have happened in my personal life and what I see on, and this watch is killing me, and what I see on the news and what Sage talks about and everything else. And it's it is what it is. I'm gonna take this damn thing off here. We need to watch anyways. So my answer to that question or statement on the title is, you got to be in the middle. You got to be in the middle. Don't panic, but get things done. Be aware. Be concerned on a few things. And panic does you no good, right, Chucky? Right? You said fixin'. I'm glad that amuses you. Pale Rider, don't worry, be happy. Pale Rider's probably sitting at home in his pajama pants watching the live feed. Fate Trucking, good morning. Let's see. What about this crap that the FMCSA are trying to force feed us? They've been doing that since day one, Mr. Jason. The speed limiter stuff, if it's proposed at 68, I don't think that it'll be that bad. The part that I don't like is the fact that now I got to take time out of my day and create a cost to go to the truck shop and have them change that parameter. And then I don't know how they're gonna, like, how do you document that, right? Like, are they going to give you documentation? Because I used to have to drive a governed 65-mile-per-hour truck, and when you're going downhill on the Sisters, you might hit speeds of like 70, 75, right? And um, you know, so if there's a cop at the bottom of that hill seeing these trucks doing 70, 75 when they're supposed to be governed at 68, you know, how do you how do you how do you deal with that? Let sleeping bear lie, right? No, I'm down in Moultrie, Georgia. Now, one of the things that Sage talked about, Hermiston, Oregon, fuel truck stop is 497. Yeah, that's one of the few spots that's still under 5, so that's good. That is good. 70-mile-per-hour collision avoidance. Oh wow, is that what they're saying? If you got collision avoidance, you get to be up to 70. Essentially, they're pushing people to buy new trucks. Is what they're doing. Ratman Roden had posted on Twitter that he was getting like 12 miles a gallon empty, which makes deadheading a lot better. And he's got a new truck. So, my truck is a PACCAR, aerodynamic Kenworth T680, and I'm lucky to get above. I think my last IFTA was like 6.8, 6.2, somewhere around there. A lot of that's my tires. I have some very knobby tires. But and I did before when I bought the truck. Their tires were new. They were pretty knobby. They were Generals. They're good tires. They lasted a long time, and my fuel mileage increased with each year on each IFTA statement. So, and that's the number you want to go off of when you're estimating your fuel costs is your IFTA, because your IFTA gives you your average there, right? Billy, what's up? Billy, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. Hope things are going well. Heading out over to Blakey, Georgia to load peanuts from Mexico. I hauled peanuts out of New Mexico one time. Don't worry about speed limiters. We had them almost 20 years. It didn't change a thing. Worry about only driving on the right lane laws. Which, a lot of states have adapted that anyways, the right lane. Like, if you aren't passing something and you're in that left lane, you're going to get a ticket. These people that play traffic cop in the traffic jams, I know guys that have gotten tickets for doing that. TJ and Space Age, normally the cheapest place in Oregon. It's gotten real. Right lane law is a real concern. There you go. Now, the right lane thing, I haven't looked into that, but that's definitely something that, again, though, I mean, is it like you can't be in the left lane at all? That's going to be a ticket writing frenzy, because there are people that are doing 55 miles an hour. And what do you do? Here's an idea. First year and then 5 years of being in business is crucial, right? So how about starting out your business based on the past 3 years of what business was doing all around up to present? Eugene, that's a way to do it, right? But when it comes to a trucking company, 3 years ago, this was a completely different situation. Fuel was 2 something a gallon, 3 something in some places, and freight rates were a lot different. So a year from now, that 3 years ago, so you have to take an industry standard or industry average. And the problem is that most people don't even do that. Um, some leasing programs like Schneider and Prime will do that with you or for you to make sure that you're good. If you want to get a truck from Low Mountain, they're going to do that. But for the most part, it's tough to do that. So you have to look at a 10-year history, um, because that gives you, what that does is that kind of shows you the ebbs and flows and the peaks and valleys, and it's very difficult to do in trucking, but this the thing that we dealt with at the very end of 2019 has thrown a lot of business plans out the window in all aspects of business. So you have people scrambling to do business plans on numbers that aren't either sustainable or aren't realistic. It also depends on your area and everything else. So there's so many different things, which I understand why someone might not want to do a business plan. And that was the point of Sage's video that I was in, was that is, one of the points was to, you can't just be a truck driver that's making a truck payment. You've got to handle it like a business. And a lot of people struggle with that. I did. In many ways I still do. So Sean, 503 Walcott, Iowa. I got my first fuel cost of over $6 a gallon, even after a discount. That was Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania is kind of not a great place when it comes to fuel prices. Good point. If the accounts for driving style, truck might be able to get 8.1, but you drive it 6.8. Right. I mean, you got the one, and this kind of goes with your rates too. You might have a load where you're getting, 8-9 miles to the gallon, but then the next load you might get 6 because it's 45,000 pounds going through Wyoming with the wind and mountains. So the IFTA is a great calculator of your average. I remember the first load I did in my Kenworth was a load of plastic bottles that went from St. Louis to Glendale, West Virginia. I love that run, by the way. That's one of my favorite runs. And I was getting like 9.2. I was like, yeah. Then I do another load. I was getting 8.6. I'm like, yeah. Then my IFTA was like, no. So, it's just sometimes that computer's off. I hardly idle. I mean, even in the summertime, I sit there with the windows open, for the most part. There's some times when I'm like, okay, I'm shut down at 1 p.m. and it's 100 degrees outside. Yeah, I'll turn on the APU. But for the most part, I try to be very conservative when it comes to idling and, keeping my foot out of it. Another point is the cost for a gallon of diesel. It's over $5.50 at places I've been fueling at. Thankfully, I'm still a company driver right now, but those prices, until those prices come down to about $4. Well, from I'm okay. So I'm going to say something. It's not going to be very popular. If you're thinking about entering the business, you need to budget for $7 a gallon fuel. In other words, if you calculate your truck, your trailer, your insurance, your home, and calculate $7 per gallon of fuel, that's going to give you a more realistic number than doing it for 4 or 5. And if those numbers don't work, then it's not time to go in. That is the reality, right? Now, if you're already in business, do your numbers at $7 a gallon. In other words, take your fuel amount. Let's say take all your excuse me, take all your fuel costs, divide that by how many gallons you did for the month, and then take the same amount of gallons, multiply it times 7, see how much of a difference that is, and then do your trimming where you need to do the trimming. So it's math time. It's math time. Let's do some math, shall we? So let's say you're doing 2,000 miles a week times the current fuel right now is 550 times, oh wait, no, we got to divide that number, divided by 6 miles to the gallon. That's 333 gallons of fuel a week if you're driving 2,000 miles a week. Okay. We're going to round that up to 335 because, sometimes you spill a little bit, right? So 335 times 4 comes out to 1340 a month for fuel, or gallons of fuel, gallons, okay, times times 7. $9,380 a month in fuel. Now, if you do 335 times 5.51, wait, no, I'm doing that wrong. I need to do the whiteboard, right? 1340, idiot. 1340 times 5.51 is 7383 minus 9,800, whatever it was. So you're looking at an additional $2,400 of fuel just by going from the average now to 7. Now people might go, well, Steve, that's crazy. Fuel's not going to hit $7 a gallon. Well, it's $6.50 in PA right now. That's why. Now look, here's the good news. You want some good news? Good news is now you've budgeted an extra $2,500 towards fuel. So if fuel goes down, or if it never hits 7, you're good to go. That's how you have to do things now. You need to pad. You need to pad for cushion. Maybe it's time to let this all come crash down and start over fresh. I don't really see fuel prices dropping anytime soon. If fuel reaches 7 in certain spots, what's going to happen then? A lot of people are going to go out of business. Rick, what's up? My truck was paid off, but anything over $5 a gallon is a non-starter on principle. They're taxing the working class to death with inflation. Big Billy gives me a thumbs up. Math is hard, John. It is. Reason I say that is because I'm keeping my cost of living close to the same as 2019 when I started our business for 5 years. But business costs do flex in time, but there's room to adapt. And that's smart, Eugene. That's smart. I had to stop what I was doing before I got started as a independent owner operator. A fuel loan for a fledgling company driver like me is murder. It is. According to my boss, they expect fuel prices to stay up at this price for 6 months to a year. Good morning, Tennessee Trucking. And that's true, Cool Trucking. That's true. So now what happens? Now what? Now what do we do? And people are making some hard decisions today. People are going to be making hard decisions at the end of the month. People have already made decisions to sit this out and, decide to run at a loss or decide to have a total loss. People that own restaurants, they'll tell you that sometimes the first 2, 3, 4 years, you're in the red anyways. Watch Shark Tank. You'll see a lot of businesses that start off and they're in the red for the first 4 or 5 years until something breaks, either good or bad. And those of you that are working the spot market as company drivers, making 20, 25, 30%, have a backup plan. Because if fuel hits $7 a gallon and the rates stay where they're at, that's not going to sustain that. You're going to lose money. Truck owners are going to lose money unless they get contract or something consistent or dedicated. Is it possible? Yes. But it's also extremely difficult. And how many truck owners do you know that have their act together? What's up, Overtax in Minnesota? Can't wait to see what your new name is going to be. Seeing any of the current prices of new trucks, Cash is King is posted the last couple of days? No, I haven't. But I know, I pretty much know that new trucks are coming off the line at 220. I've been supporting local restaurants, but now you don't think so. It's my wife and I, we went out to eat last Sunday, and it was like $68 just to have a quiet meal to ourselves that wasn't fast food crap. Of course, I eat pretty expensive by having steaks or whatever, but still. Yep. Oh, 255? Holy crap. Jeez. That's twice I've been surprised. Dang. As the economy slows, demand will slow. Yeah, I agree with you, DIY. That might be look, we have an EMP. Gonna have to do that. Human inflation will all be millionaires before the crash, right? Some people are. 300K. And that's just it. So if my truck gets totaled because of some schmuck at a truck stop or some accident that's beyond my control, I'm done. I'm out. Because I'm not buying trucks at these prices. That's the reality. That's the reality I'm looking at. Unless I find some really killer deal, which I have one, a potential one that I could do, but still, and a lot of people are cashing out. A lot of people are getting ridiculous prices for their trade-ins or for their trucks, and a lot of people will see the writings and they'll cash out. And look, just have a plan that keeps you from panicking, but the more you go towards that plan, you're not being complacent. That's the message of the video. This isn't doom and gloom. This is taking what's in front of you and making changes where you can. We can't control the FMCSA. We can't control the oil tycoons. We can't control the government. We can't control, what's happening, thousands of miles away in another country. All we can control is what's in front of us for the most part. kind of like, you're in 4 lanes of traffic and you're going down the interstate. Keep it in your lane. Don't, be looking at this or watching YouTube going down the road. Just keep it in your lane. Be aware of all the cars in front of you. So when something goes awry, you can avoid it as much as you possibly can. But sometimes that one car spins out, blam, right in your hood. So are you prepared for that? Are you prepared? Right? That is a possibility. We all laughed at RD when he said that, right? Wait for the repossessions hit market, and that's coming soon. With a lot of people parking, 135 for an F450. That blows my mind. Jacoby Lane, if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially with some of these companies up in their pay, like Walmart. Put your insurance on minimal and you know get a battery trickle device or keep the fuel tanks full if you got an APU, keep the batteries charged and do what you need to do. Good morning. Delivered a load in Aurora, Colorado. I'll be picking up in Aurora this morning. Going to Costco in Orem, Utah. How are you doing with those rates over there, Paul? Hope you're doing okay with those rates. RD solid. We all laughed at RD. If you're watching this, man, we all apologize for laughing at you for wanting 260 grand for your truck and trailer. He started at 260, but once he saw that was a possibility, he might he up to 300 because I don't think he really wants to sell it. But if fuel hits $7 a gallon, he'll sell it. I would sell it. Good morning, Steve. Last day in Mexico. All great things come to an end. Well, I hope you enjoyed your trip. John says, I have a paid off truck and that's an option for me. Well, yes and no, John. See, the people that are parking their trucks, something that you have to consider is your carrier, right? So if your carrier charges you for insurance or you have a weekly fixed cost that goes to the carrier, you're going to get behind if you park the truck completely. That's no bueno. Now, having a paid off truck, I know, because I have one, makes it easier to insulate yourself from increased costs. But if you drive for a carrier that's set up like ours, where we're not charged for the cargo liability insurance, now the carrier's not making money, so how can they grow? How can they make their moves? How can they sustain their business if you're not running? So that's something to keep in mind as well. They have fixed costs as well. If the insurance for your particular driver is $12,000 a year, then they're out $12,000 if you don't run, right? I don't know too many people that if you went up to them and say, "Hey, that 12 grand you got, give me that," and you walk away. I don't think too many people like that. Again, another lesson I've learned the hard way. So something to keep in mind, because I talked to a guy at the wedding event that we went to last week, and they had parked his truck, and he had talked about how his carrier's upset. And I was like, well, they're paying for your truck to just sit. And so, if you have your own authority, that's all on you. Do what you need to do. And that maybe is one of the advantages of having your own numbers. But then now you're taking $12,000 or however much your insurance is. You pick it up and you throw it away. You just throw it away. Now what? Right? So sitting completely out, if all the bills are on you, may not be an option. So some running is better than no running. And that's where the short haul game kind of comes in. Pick a lane, pick the cheapest states that have the cheapest fuel, and stay in it. Consistent. Some money is better than no money. I was assuming I'd just leave the carrier, Steve. I'm not planning on that, but it's an option for things if things go to heck. My rates have stabilized, but $3 can't support $6 a gallon diesel. We're not going to work for free. Mothballing and parking it in the barn has happened before. I've done it. You know, you're like, well, you're kind of doing it now, but I'm getting money in from other sources, and that's why I said 2 years ago, create other streams of income to help insulate what happens, not what's happening, but what happens in the trucking industry. And and look, how do I sleep at night? I have a plan. How can you sleep at night? Have a plan. Because when you look at the receipt and you go, and you're like, holy crap. Like I've done twice today in this live feed. Then you think back, man, I'm sure I'm glad I budgeted this at $7 a gallon. Or I'm sure I'm glad I realized that I was paying an extra $2,000 a month in fuel than I was last year. So I can shave off $2,000. And that's where I've said, take care of your debts, pay your debts off. So if your truck payment was $2,000 a month, and now your fuel is going to be an extra $2,000 a month. If you paid your truck off early, boom, now you got that extra $2,000. Yeah. Have a plan. While I have my own personal CMV park, this might be the best time to do some repairs to it. Yep. Ramen noodles, peanut butter and jelly, bread, bottled water, salting cracker prices are going to go up. Foods that truckers eat survive the madness. Eugene, the good news with that is that those foods are horrible for you, except bottled water and peanut butter. And intermittent fasting helps saves money in the long run. Spooby, what's up, man? Spooby, I got another carnivore success story I was texted to yesterday. Pretty awesome. Seeing Gallup, New Mexico at the Loves and watching the amount of freight trains running back and forth from east to west is insane. Seeing more and more company use rail now than ever before. Look on the bright side. There's going to be a lot more overnight parking soon. There you go. There's always a positive. And look, my video is not designed to freak you out. It's designed to keep you aware, right? Have a plan so you don't panic and don't become complacent. That's it. If you do that, you'll be all right. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. No drastic measures. Big Houston, good morning. Truck Matimo, what's up? It is excellent. And I'm going to be talking about that on the other channel. And that's the whole point of Eric's video the other day. Know your industry, have a plan, stick to the plan, adjust the plan if needed, but stick to the plan mainly. And any deviation needs to be addressed and dealt with financially. If you've been an owner operator for the last 3 years, your costs just went up 62%, according to the fuel index. So how do you absorb that? If you went out and bought a $150,000, 500,000 mile truck that doesn't get great fuel mileage, and you went out and bought a $60,000 trailer, $7 a gallon fuel is going to put you out of business unless you paid that stuff off early. And that's the reality. So once equipment comes down, you know, that'll help the you know, capacity issue. They say food shortage is coming. How? I thought we were the export when it comes to food. Well, Diesel Bro, um, I guess a bunch of our grain came from Eastern Europe, which I had no idea. And you have a bird flu running around, and you have fertilizer. That's the root right there, fertilizer. So a little birdie told me that a farmer had told him that they're paying double for fertilizer right now. Farmers are paying double for fertilizer costs. And also they're affected by the diesel fuel prices as well. And so they're either paying double for their fertilizer and hoping that they'll stay in business, or they're not fertilizing. So they're only getting half the crop. And so reefer's taking a hit right now because of droughts and fertilizer costs. So there's that. Okay. Um, and you're going to notice quality in your processed foods, which you shouldn't be eating, but hey, whatever. And you're going to notice, ingredients changing. You're going to notice amounts changing. Instead of 4 to a bag, or instead of 6 to a bag, you're going to have 4 to a bag. It's going to taste a little different because they got to thin it out. There's going to be a heavy reliance on sugar and flour and thinning that out. Um, if we get the swine flu and the mad cow disease, watch out. It's going to get bumpy. So I encourage people to have a plan for that. And I've been talking about that for the last year. That's why I learned how to hunt. I was up in the PNW, and a lot of container trains were moving west from Seattle and Portland. Yep, that's how it works. Has anyone ever checked out the Pakistan Truck channel on YouTube? No. It's the future of trucking. I'll check that out. Relax, my friends. It's only an Alfred Hitchcock phase we're going through. It'll get better. Yeah. I got a retention bonus and a promise from the owner to stay where I am, but I'm still nervous. Have a plan, Tennessee. Have a plan. So if they make it, you're good to go. But if they don't make it, you're good to go. Right? Have a plan. Have a plan. That's how you should be going through life, Yeah, the global economy is great until some foreign leader gets mad or something and else happens and comes in. There's more to that. I just can't bring myself to kill any living being except humans. That doesn't even make sense. Steve, this working vacation in Mexico is carriers brokers have no yearly paid vacation, no guaranteed pension, health care coverage. Do not wait to travel. Your abilities at 60 plus versus 40 different. I agree with that, CDN. There's a European cruise I would like to go on because you kind of hit all the major points. The Viking cruise, I'd like to do that someday, and I'd like to visit Japan someday if it doesn't get nuked off the face of the earth because North Korea is being dumb. So Mexico, though, man, it's kind of scary in Mexico. I've been to Mexico, though. Company drivers make between $1,500 and $2,500 a week. Our settlement for this week will be $900. That's the world we're living in. Used to hunt deer, wild pig, bear. I don't think I could bear. Bear. I don't think I could hunt bear. Unless it was actively attacking me. Speaking of processed foods, what do you think would happen if Monsanto went out of business? We'd be healthier. We've got an old family recipe for Brunswick stew. Who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows? Anyways, guys, look, just have a plan. You'll be all right. You know, have a plan what's in front of you. Have a plan just in case all the traffic in front of you goes awry. Have a plan just in case all the traffic in front of you gets stopped. Have a plan just in case you're the only one out there on the road and you break down. You know, have a plan in place. And to do that, you have to do some homework. You have to do some math. You have to have a mindset. If you arm yourself with those things, you'll be good to go. Regardless, you know, hope is not a good business plan. Cat wants in. There you go. Rename this channel the Cat Wants In and Out channel. There never is discussion about setting money aside for vacation and pension when running numbers. That is absolutely true. People don't even do their numbers with taxes or equipment replacement. He let two of his brothers go and sold their trucks and trailers. My planner is sore about the decision. See, but I told you, Tennessee, that they would be making adjustments, right? And I was right, which is why I helped you, you know, gave you the number that I did. Because you know, luckily right now those adjustments have not affected you, but I think to a certain extent they will eventually. So just you know, just have a plan. If I would hunt bear, I would probably end up as lunch. Now finding a bear is another matter. I've never seen a bear in the wild except for one time. Well, no, I take it back. I've seen it three times on the road. I actually hit one with the truck. It was there on the corner of North Carolina, on the border of North Carolina, the border, and going into Tennessee. And I saw this weird thing galloping. I thought it was a dog because it was a small bear. And the dump truck that was passing me at this point hit it, and then it went underneath my trailer wheels. I had to pull over and make sure that no airlines were busted or anything like that. But yeah, that dump truck driver, you got on the CB, he felt bad. He was like, "Man, I feel horrible." And my wife has flat out said that if she ever got attacked by a bear, she would just let it attack her because she couldn't bear to shoot it in self-defense if she had to. So, but me on the other hand, I'm not going to go looking for bear, but you know, if one's attacking me, I'm going to fight back or something. You know, stick in the eye or something, right? That's my plan. Stick in the eye. You know, but I do carry when I go out the woods too. So I hope I'm glad, Tennessee, and I appreciate your gratitude. I definitely want to try to help people. You know, I can't believe that folks started business without a plan, but maybe that their plan was was a good plan. So having a plan is great, but have a good one, right? 5,000 sign-up bonus at Pumpkin IC shows you how many churning now. Yeah, and usually, well, they're trying to attract the guys to come out of the spot market, Sean. That's a cycle that Schneider has always done. I've witnessed it firsthand. You know, I'm surprised I haven't got my letter yet. Telling me to come back because they know the spot market's down and they snagged a lot of it. T-Bone, I hit a bear once also in West Virginia. Dash cam videos on my channel. Oh, okay. Your wife should work for PETA. No, she wouldn't get along with those people. My wife had no problems of me taking my 308 and grabbing a dinner for a little bit. It's just the bear she didn't want to do anything to. Saw a bear in Colorado 25 going a Raton Pass between New Mexico and Colorado. Yeah, the other times I've seen bears is Florida, Panhandle of Florida. It's that Panhandle of Florida's actually got a pretty decent bear problem. And then I saw a cougar, like a full mountain lion, like big one, dead on the side of the road there in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. So imagine the car that hit that was like, holy crap. I mean, it was a big one. It wasn't like a little bobcat. I've seen bobcats too, but left lane was closed. Where 70 came from in between the cones at night, it scared the hell out of me. Yeah. Did it damage the truck? You can't come back here. They know you spy for jail, right? Yeah. Look, I did a video, and this is part of my YouTube channel. I really despise, which is why I can't watch my own replays. Um, I did a video, me and my 400-pound self, reading the letter out loud that Schneider had given me to help have me come back to the spot market. And I was being all smug and I was being kind of an asshole. That video might not be on there anymore. I might have deleted that because someone said, "Man, Steve, if you ever have to go to Schneider, you got to eat crow." I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. I think private, but um, I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot about myself, about trying not to be the arrogant butthead on YouTube that knows it all. I'm trying not to be that guy because I don't know everything. All I know is what's in front of me, and I pay attention to the far distance of what's coming. Got a decent one going to Colorado to get back to Arizona. Numbers are better going to Utah than Arizona. I've got a broker, Paul, that does a lot of stuff between Arizona and Utah. I can hook you up with that person. California is the bear state, yet I've never seen one. You might in the Northern California. Years ago, I went on a hog hunt with a buddy of mine, took a hog barehanded with a pit bull and a Bowie knife. Most hardcore thing I've ever witnessed. I have the buddy of mine that I went hunting with. He had a story about finishing off a deer with a knife. Had to get on top of it. So, of course, that's not a hog, Yeah, traditional hunting. Look, when we took the deer to the processing plant the following Monday, holy moly, man, you had 30 guys in there that looked pretty rough. Like 30 of us in there that you wouldn't want to be stuck in the woods with, with guns, right? So makes you go, man. Yeah, but nothing Bungees couldn't fix. Get me back the yard. Well, that's good. Good deal. A bit like my daughter when she was little, she had venison and liked it, but then I told her what it was. Dear me, she didn't talk to me for a week. A lot of people do that with rabbit, right? Rabbit's got some good qualities of meat, and it's a good resource, and it's easy to raise, depending on even if you live in the city. However, the downside is they're cute, and you're like, oh, and so you kind of think, ah, before you knock it in the head and start skinning it. So, but anyways, that's an interesting turn that this video has talked about. But regardless, have a plan, stick to the plan, adjust when needed, start doing your numbers off of $7 fuel. And if that creates panic, fix it. I know, easier said than done, but it can be done. And if parking's your only option, then I wish you well. Because the problem with the whole, I'm going to park it till fuel comes down. What if fuel never goes down? Now what? And that's something that you have to consider. I agree. Rabbits are also loud if not killed effectively. I watched my neighbor kill a rabbit. It was crazy. It was a teenager, and there was this Christian family that, very conservative, that would come over and talk with us for a little bit, and And this guy had 3 sons, and he was teaching them hunting. Right? They went out. It was funny. They went out deer hunting, and the mom who stayed at home hit a deer with the car literally an hour after they left. And they spent the whole weekend hunting deer and couldn't find one. Then come to find out, she hit one with the deer like an hour into their trip, right? But they also had rabbit. They also caught a rabbit, and they were going to eat it. And the guy made his son, his youngest son, beat it in the head so they can kill it. I don't remember it making a noise. I'm sure there's videos on how to, harvest correctly if you raise them. So I'm sure there's that information that's out there. But anything, look, Chucky, I'm going to make fun of you for a minute. Anything is loud if not killed effectively. It's not just rabbits. Oh, man. So, on that note, look, guys, have a plan. If parking's your only plan, then reevaluate that plan, because it's a temporary solution that doesn't usually end well. So it's going to get interesting. Larry, fuel prices will likely stay up till after midterms, as big oil tends to be Republican leaning and will want to make the Dem Party look bad. The price of everything rises with fuel, right? He's like, yeah, good point. Having a plan circles back to last video of consistency. Think about your favorite restaurant. Why do you keep going back? Because they are consistent. There you go. Consistency. You can't build consistency parked in the driveway. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. I can't speak for raised rabbits, but wild ones smell terrible when skinning it. I bet. I've never had wild rabbit. I've always had farm raised rabbit. So I don't know what the difference in meat is. I'm sure there's a channel out there on YouTube land that will tell you or tell me, right? There was a channel I watched that they had to kill a bobcat that was attacking chickens, so they were able to trap it. They took it out with the 22, skinned it, and ate it right there on the YouTubes. It's like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know. I guess if I was hungry in the forest or something, but I don't know. There's some lines I haven't drawn yet, but you never know. A year from now, we'll be like, oh, bobcat, it's so delicious. To the victors go the spoils. Look, if what Sage is talking about comes to fruition about that bullwhip effect, rates are going to go up again. What fuel does may become irrelevant. I have trouble speaking because sometimes I'm slow. Okay, but anyways, so surviving a storm is important. How do you do that? So don't panic. Have a plan. Adjust plan when needed. Prepare for worst case scenario. And do what needs to be done. And don't become complacent. Yeah, same here in Missouri. We have different hunting seasons. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I got to get to work. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up. Man, I lost half my people talking about animals. But anyways, be consistent. Have a plan. Don't panic. It'll be all right. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. If you're already in the spot market, make your adjustments. And if you want to come into the spot market, make the adjustments before you get here. And there's still money to be made. I know people that are doing it. And don't let your emotions run your business. Don't let hope be your business plan or your only business plan. You can be optimistic, but don't be blind. So have a good day. Be safe. If you're out there driving in Mad Max land, be careful and, you know, keep the wheels up on the pavement. Keep the shiny side up, I guess is what I meant to say. And strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Peace.